I'm moving in now.
And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 70. So for those of you guys waiting on us to start earlier, basically nothing bad happened. One of my friends' nephew, he has a band and they're performing tomorrow, so they needed the downstairs studio for about a couple hours to practice, and they were essentially blowing the roof off. So I just waited.
You'll hear them again in about 5 minutes, trust me.
So I waited so you guys wouldn't hear that in the background, but they're done. I went downstairs and I was wearing this hat, and they looked at me like they respected me. I was like, I'm black, and they respect me. See? And they were white.
So
See?
This is what it feels like.
Oh, God. So I'm pretty sure everyone saw my tweet, so they're going to probably want me to go off about last night. And don't worry, I will. But before that, we're just going to just, do the intros. Was literally just fucking 3 of us. So we are officially at 70 episodes. We are 30 episodes away from 100 episodes. So that's awesome. I don't know if we'll hit 100 episodes by the end of the year, honestly. But if we do, that's awesome. My goal, as I told people on the show, is to just get where F&T was at. F&T's at 300 episodes. So that's my ultimate goal. I just want to get to that point, later on down the road, But yeah, Drunken Emerald Arrow, what's going on, man? How are you doing? He's finally masked off now, so he's not Oliver Queen.
Well, you wanna know what? I'm gonna be like Jake Paul.
Really?
And run away.
Good Lord.
Well, there's a lot of things that happened over the last couple of days that I want to talk about. Let's start primarily with the Netflix disaster of 2024, which was the borderline fake fight that happened last night. Should we start there? I got a lot to say about that.
So before we even talk about Jake Paul defeating Mike Tyson, right? We're going to talk about Netflix first, because Netflix is a company that just recently bought WWE, right? They bought the rights to obviously air the shows, right? This company literally knew this was going to be one of the most watched events of the year. Probably one of the most watched events, you would say, in the last 5 years, because Jake Paul comes from that era of kids that grew up after we did, or after you guys did too. So it's kind of like bridging these massive eras right there. So it was going to be watched, obviously. Jake Paul is a known personality and content creator, let's just say that. And Mike Tyson is one of the, if not one of the best kickboxing champions or boxers of all time, actually. I mean, he's up there. I mean, a lot of people think he's number one outside of Ali or something like that. So, he had that thing like Michael Jordan did. Remember Michael Jordan? He won a lot. He retired. He went to go play baseball, came back, didn't do as well. And people say, did that tarnish your legacy? But that stuff's later on. But I just want to focus on Netflix really quickly. Netflix, last night, when we were all watching it, didn't even bother to address what we were all talking about. They literally posted, Jake Paul, retweet for Jake Paul, like for Mike Tyson. Hey, want to talk about the massive buffering issues your damn fucking stream was having?
No, they went even a step further. They tried to gaslight everyone who was watching the fight last night into thinking that the internet issues were their fault, not their fault. So if you were watching at some point, the screen would just absolutely crash, and then it'd be like, yeah, we're testing your internet connection. Maybe your internet connection is the problem. And people start getting pissed because not only can I not watch the fight that I paid money for, but now you're gaslighting me into thinking that somehow my internet's the problem when there's literally millions of people on Twitter bitching about the same thing.
There was so many people posting that their fucking internet, it wasn't their internet. Netflix's literal live streaming service. Keep in mind, this company is a streaming service that streams constant movies and TV shows and some anime they have.
But isn't this their first a major live event? Because isn't this... Because what I figured is that they were using this event. I mean, here's what it really is. They were using this event at a testing ground because they want to try to bid in the future for actual sports to be put on the site. So it's they're trying to get a deal with either the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, something like that, where they can do live sports on Netflix. And this was their first big testing ground here. And they failed horribly because apparently at some point this is what they're claiming, right?
Yeah.
That there was about 80 million people who tuned in to watch last night's fight. Now I don't know if that means just 80 million people entering the stream or how many of that were actual people. Like we know with streaming, they love the fudge the numbers with streaming services. So who knows?
How many were watching other people streaming it?
Mm-hmm. And how many people
I don't have Netflix, and I saw most of it.
Yeah.
How many people how many people were actually like exiting the stream and trying to get back in because the stream wasn't functioning?
Yeah, because for streaming services, I follow streaming services for a long time. Do they mean like 80 million concurrent viewers or just people that were just totality from the screens there? Because that can go like either or. But the point I'm trying to make to everyone here is this fucking company buys WWE. And it's going to start putting out the events they do for that fandom. I'm not a wrestling guy, but people know what that is, obviously. The thing here to understand is if they can't handle that much traffic for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, how are they going to do that for WWE? Like Monday Night Raw? Like what the fuck?
They gave WWE $5 billion, a number that literally no one was ever going to offer them for Monday Night Raw. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, we might not even have the streaming capabilities to host this show that we just spent $5 billion.
They didn't even address the comments last night.
5 weeks.
They were like, oh, it's Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Hey, can you talk about why your fucking service is crashing and buffering like this? And they knew they were going to have that much traffic because, guys, they had more than enough time to prepare for it because this has been a match that has been in preparation since like what, late 2022, early 2023. So this match has been hyped and prepped for a long time. Are you telling me Rumble can handle more traffic than that? If you went on Rumble the night of the election about a few weeks ago, they handled 90,000 concurrent people watching one of the streams.
I will say the difference though is that Rumble and like say YouTube are designed for live streaming and actually presenting that compared to Netflix, which is just essentially pulling a video from a server. And not everyone's watching the exact same thing at the exact same time. So I can understand the issue that they were having there. Though overall, Amazon has done a much better job with their live broadcast than Netflix has.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how one of the biggest nights people can't even like thoroughly enjoy it because of the buffering issues going on. And then instead of just going like, hey, we failed, we're sorry, we'll just do better. You know that thing they like to say, do better? No, instead of just saying literally, I'll do better next time for you, you're my customers, they just either ignored you or people went and started defending Netflix going, well, people are just complaining about a little buffering. Everyone was doing it. It wasn't just one person. Why do people do that? It's like, oh, it's just one guy saying it. No, it's never just one guy. Where does that come from? Multiple people. We were saying we couldn't watch it. Darnell, who pays for Netflix, said I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't concentrate on it. I don't get it.
It was a test. They definitely were trying to test and stress test their system for taking on the WWE. However, they failed. And instead of addressing the problem and actually going to the customers and saying, hey, you want to know what? We jacked this up. We were not ready. And clearly our system could not handle this. We're working to try to get this resolved. Please stand by. Instead, it's maybe you should upgrade your internet.
Yeah, maybe you should randomly upgrade your internet.
Imagine if this wasn't a streaming service and this was like straight up like pay-per-view. Just like regular ass pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Do you know how many refunds they would have to issue?
That's perhaps the reason why there wasn't an extra charge for this fight.
Yep.
Yeah. Like all they had to do was come out today and be like, hey, we are deeply sorry for ruining everyone's experience. Because remember, we ourselves couldn't even focus on the fight, let alone even like try to make sure. Like every time I was watching it, I have to go like, you know what? I don't know if I can even consistently tune in because I don't know if it's going to start buffering. Like, you don't want that. I'm sorry. Like that's an absolute failure. Next time, they need to have a smooth stream. I'm sorry. And the fact that they messed up on this big of an event, that's pretty telling, honestly.
Well, the true winner of that fight was the buffering icon. That's who won the fight.
He was the biggest star of the entire night. Was that buffering? That 25% in buffering was the biggest star of the whole show last night.
Yeah. Also,
22% was getting very close to beating 25% buffer.
Before we talk about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, I do want to say I've never been a person that's really watched boxing like that. It's never been something that interesting to me, or even UFC fighting, whatever. I've never heard people, literally multiple guys, and the guys are pretty hard. Guys are pretty hard to impress. All the guys unanimously went, "Hey, I liked it when the ladies were fighting." When have you ever heard that? Like, when have you literally in your mind ever heard that? Never. I've never heard anyone say that.
You've never heard the expression cat fight? Everyone, all the men gather when there's a cat fight going on.
Okay.
Of course, men like watching other women beat each other up.
I don't know. It hurt my soul seeing them
Though
do that.
it was a better fight than what the main card was.
Yeah, just imagine that. The two girls put up a better show for the audience than the main male stars that they were leading up to. Crazy.
So, real quick, as we know, there's real fighting happening in just a couple of minutes on the UFC, and Trump just walked into Madison Square Garden in New York, where the event's at tonight. He's with Elon Musk, Kid Rock, Tucker Carlson, JFK Jr., and a couple other guys who are all there basically celebrating like his big election win from a couple weeks ago. By the way, it's been almost 2 weeks since the election, and they're still counting votes in multiple states. Now there was like a county in Pennsylvania, or a couple counties in Pennsylvania, where they called it for Trump like a week and a half ago, and now somehow Harris is closing in the gap with like 2 weeks after the election. How does that happen? Like how is like no one's like, oh, this is something like something's missed here? It's like, because basically it's like literally statistically impossible for like this to happen. Yet here we are. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I heard there were some rumblings that she wants a recount. I was told that if you question the results of a presidential election, you are an insurrectionist and you are a threat to democracy.
You're a threat to democracy. You should be jailed. You should
be
go straight into jail.
Democrats have been the original election deniers since 2000.
Yes.
Every election since that they have lost, they have said it's been stolen from them. Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't new.
Like, what in the world's going on? And didn't she call him the election night? She called him and she said, "I concede." We literally heard that. That's the case. First of all, if you literally said, if we're having a battle and I say I surrender, you win. I mean, that's pretty.
Like, I'm out.
I'm actually done. You win. She literally said,
"No,
you win."
You want to know what you didn't catch is that when she called Trump and said, "I concede the election," her fingers were crossed.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't keep. You didn't.
This
think
is
about
why
that
you have
one.
to break their fingers first, so that way they can't deceive you later.
In Minecraft, allegedly with a mallet that Harley Quinn uses, right?
Or if you have a Volvo, that would be even preferable.
So what do you think? Do you guys think she'll actually try to go for a recount?
She's a Democrat, and it's the Democrats. Yes. Did it? I thought I had seen a story of them trying to raise money to try to fund a recount, because at this point, the only way a recount's going to happen is that the campaign has to pay for it, and that campaign's $20 million in debt.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So crazy, man. So the fact that she got
how do you receive $1 billion and end up 20 million in debt? Like, how that happened?
Yeah. She literally got 8 times the endorsement. He did 8 times, 8 billion, and she's now 20.
They literally got every compromised Hollywood celebrity in the industry to come out and shill for Harris, and she got stomped.
Yeah. Like that proves right there, musician, artist, movie star influence does not matter anymore. Nobody cares.
You get that Katy Perry, you sold your soul for nothing.
They all did. God, remember LeBron James on Twitter? He was like, when I think about my family's future, the answer is clear. Vote Kamala Harris.
Yeah, everyone else is like, okay, LeBron.
Okay, like LeBron's opinion matters on anything. Holy shit!
Are you still on that? Are you still on that first page of that Malcolm X book? You freaking fraud!
Remember, he had the comic comment he made. He was like, "Hey guys, I was in a comics as a kid. Where do I start reading? Wait a minute. If you're in a comics as a kid, what the fuck?
Yeah,
when you start reading?
You read now?
Crazy.
Like, hey,
I don't get it.
Are you retarded?
Where do I start reading? He said it was mostly into Batman, and I was like, okay, go on the internet, type into Google, what are Batman's best comic book stories? Are you like that retarded? You can't do a basic search, hit some keys? Oh my god, that guy's the king of basketball. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my goodness. But
the fraud king.
Let's go over the fight. So, guys, I'll be honest here. It's one of the
real
few
quick.
fights. Yeah, yeah.
One more thing before you hit that. I do like that the biggest takeaway from last night's fight was the fact that people in this country have not seen legitimate boobs in so long. Like the biggest stars of last night's show were the two ring girls who had like J-cup boobs, and everyone just completely freaked out. It's like, oh my god, I haven't seen those in a while. Like we're so used to like non-binary creatures in Dylan Mulvaney. It's like I forgot what tits looked like.
They look pretty attractive. I can't. The girls looked great. I'll give them that. They looked pretty. It's so crazy how people were deprived of real women because they were given fake manufactured women with dicks. They're like, oh my god,
it's either ugly,
yeah,
purple-haired, non-binary people, or it's just like 5'4" like white dudes pretending to be women, and that's all we've gotten. So all of a sudden, a woman shows up, and like an actual legitimate woman, and everyone loses their mind. Like, holy crap! When did this become a thing? I didn't know you were still allowed to do this. I thought we were.
That girl looked fucking great. That one white girl. Oh my god! What?
Make women. Make women dickless again.
Yeah, right. Oh, I mean, there was two of them that I mean, I mean like actual women. I'm not talking about like the boobs, but there was two of them that were big last night. There was the other one. It was the black girl too that got everyone's attention as well.
That disgusts me. Don't you ever put black girls in the ring? Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Oh no. Chocolate. Fucking hell. Emerald. Mm-hmm. No, you can't be black if you sleep with her. I can't give you an inward pass.
Nope. N-word pass denied. And then this was the other girl who everyone was talking about last night.
Dang. Oh, shit. Fuck. Did they hire these women off like the fucking biggest strip club in the world?
No, OnlyFans.
Yeah, probably. Right. Mm-hmm. It's like, who's the top 1% on OnlyFans? Yeah, let's get them to be our ring girls for tonight.
Imagine how much money they made off OnlyFans.
Hey, you want to know what being an internet...
The sad part is that if they were to start an OnlyFans tomorrow, they'd be millionaires, like
multi-millionaires. Yeah, multi-millionaires.
Well, being it was Jake Paul, I mean, they could have just brought in Amaranth to be one of the card holders.
They have standards. This is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Amaranth has done more degrading stuff for money. Might as well just be a ring girl for a few hours, right?
God, man. The funniest thing was when that one simp came up to see her and she just ignored him, and people were like, "If that's not the
like, I'm a moderator in your Discord.
I have a Discord.
Man. Oh, the other things that you go over before the fight. Oh my god. A takeaway. Fucking hell. What was it? The girl. Oh, Drama Alert posted this. There were like multiple fights going on in the stadium as certain fights were going on too. They said the securities have detain the situation and have everything under control. No, they don't. You see how big that stadium was? There's no way they had all those fights under control.
AT&T Stadium can legitimately hold 100,000 people at full capacity. Like if it was like a major event, they could put 100,000 people in that stadium easily. So it's like, yeah, no, there was no control there.
Yeah.
Oh God, man. Sydney Thomas, that was her name from last night. Oh my goodness.
Wait, which one?
I'm in love. There was a white girl.
Oh, okay.
Does she have an OnlyFans? No.
I'm pretty sure she will soon.
She has a bunch of ads called Hot Amal's Daily. What the fuck's that supposed to be? I don't know what that's what. I'm gonna follow her for research purposes. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. I accidentally just followed her to see what her boobs bounce like.
Yeah. Oh. Are you going to be really impressed with her future career as a veterinarian assistant?
Oh, yeah. She can be a great, upstanding citizen teaching 4th grade.
Nah, we shouldn't do that. There's enough women pedophiles as it is. We don't need that anymore.
Oh, make hot teachers great again. We should just read an article. We should read the article from That Park Place from John Trent to make society go over his work.
Oh yeah, it's a shocker. He's not there anymore. I don't know if
actually it's not written by him. It's actually written by the person you said last week. Montanaro. Yep. Yeah, He wrote about that. Okay, so my opinions on the fight. Okay, so I'm going to tackle it in all different directions, okay? So let's just hypothetically say Mike Tyson ran it down. So what does run it down mean when I say that? In leagues, there's a term called running it down is when you don't give a shit anymore, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Tyson, we saw the videos. He was prepping for the fight. He got in shape. He got to like, what, 278 pounds? You saw him spar with his trainer and everything. Now, keep in mind, he has mentioned the fact that he has had medical issues. He had an ulcer or whatever. His knee had been met.
He was literally like in a wheelchair like 5 months ago.
Yeah. And it was impressive.
Yeah, that's why they
this. Yeah, but
that's why it is surprising that the fight even happened. They were definitely watching it. No other state would have it. Texas was from reports were that Texas was the only state willing to even hold the event.
Yeah. Because it's like obviously when you look at that like boxing, like the top tier like commission in the country is Nevada, and when Nevada says we're not sanctioning this fight, a lot of the other commissions will follow Nevada's lead, except for Texas because they're just a bunch of oil drinking gun tooting like maniacs. It's like it's just Mike Tyson gonna be on the card, damn tooting poo. Like that's all they hear.
Oh my God, I love that nigger, Mike Tyson. I'm going in that stadium.
No. That's way too southern for Texas. They sound more like Yosemite Sam out there.
I will give Mike Tyson credit for two things, not just the fight, but he backed up his boy Donald Trump. Remember, Mike Tyson had that incident a very long time ago. I don't go over that, but that one guy tried challenging him. Hey, why are you going to vote for Trump? I'm voting for Trump. I'm gonna disagree with you. So what? What are you going to do? He voted for Trump. And he got back in shape. I gotta give him credit. He, even through all his health problems, he still managed to do it. But the problem with it is that, like, I don't know what happened to him in the fight. He could have either been choking, pressure got too much for him, or he was just there for a paycheck. Because the guy that was sparring with his partner was not the same guy you saw there. There's no way that's the same guy. So much different energy there. The way he was actually trying to fight his sparring partner was way different than he was trying to fight Jake Paul. I legitimately don't know what angle he was trying to do. Did he choke? Did he with too much pressure?
No,
I don't know.
So it's age. It's age because the sheer fact is that you could see at the beginning of the third, he came out with came out with a burst of energy and really went after him. But I was like, well, that's it for the gas tank. He's done.
Like here's what happened there. Last night was a giant pro wrestling show. It's literally all that it was. It's like they showed you all of these training videos, and everyone got this 1983 nostalgia of a young Mike Tyson. It's like, oh, he's gonna go out there, he's gonna beat the crap out of Jake Paul.
We all wanted to believe it. Everyone wanted to believe it.
Everyone wanted to believe that all of a sudden Mike Tyson had dialed the clock back 30 years and he was gonna go out there and be a savage again.
Yeah.
And they absolutely worked everyone. It's like, first of all, Mike Tyson's damn near 60. Like I said, he was just in a wheelchair a few months ago. There was no shot. He had absolutely no shot of winning this fight at all. It's like you can say whatever you want about Jake Paul. Sure, he doesn't fight actual boxers. He only fought one legit boxer so far in his career, but he does have enough boxing expertise to hold his own against someone who's so far past his prime. It's like I said, it's shocking that this fight even got put up in the first place. You said in the third round, I noticed it in the very first round. It's like once you got past that first minute of the fight, Tyson was done at that very moment. He got burnt out. He got hit with a couple of shots. He started slowing down. His knees are done. Like there's no cartilage in those knees whatsoever. He couldn't move. He couldn't dodge. He couldn't duck. I knew in the very first round, oh, this is a wrap. Like now I'm a little bit surprised that Jake Paul didn't finish him because he easily could have, but that's kind of the whole do-si-do of the dance thing. He went out there and was like, hey, look, we're going to pay you $20 million. Come down to Texas and fight this kid for the 8 2-minute rounds. Make it look good. Line it up and we'll give you some money for you or your kids. And then that's it. That's what this whole thing was. Like Floyd Mayweather said it perfectly. Boxing is legalized bank robbing. That is all boxing is. Like you get a bunch of suckers to buy in to a fixed fight, and then you go out there, you put on a mediocre performance, and then you walk out of there millions and millions of dollars richer. And that's the entire art of boxing here, especially in 2024.
So all you guys did this then. You guys watch more boxing than me. I don't care about that much. Does this hurt? I know Mike Tyson doesn't care about his legacy. He said that, but does this hurt him in the conversation for greatest boxer then? Him coming back and doing this?
Well, he was never the greatest boxer. I mean, Here's the thing with Mike Tyson. Let's be very, very honest here. Mike Tyson wasn't nearly as great as a boxer as a lot of people says that he was. He was a polarizing figure because there was a lot of people who feared him. He was a maniac during his younger years. Like he would go around hitting women, biting people's ears off. Like there was a whole aura and mania around Mike Tyson, right? But if you're talking about actual acolytes, like he was never like the best boxer. He was never like one of the pound for pound like good biggest guys. He never had like that long standing like heavyweight reign where he was like taking out like I said, by the time he got to fighting, like I said, the Evander Holyfields and the Lennox Lewises and guys like that, like the difference in skill was glaring at that point. So once he started actually fighting the top tier heavyweights in the game, it's like he just didn't have it. So it was like, yeah, he was great at knocking out soup cans, and I think at one point he had like 11 fights in like 1 year. And like, I'm sorry, if you're fighting 11 times in boxing in 1 year, you're facing absolute scrubs. Like these are guys who, like I said, shocking that this fight even got approved in the first place type of thing. So he's more of just more of like a celebrity type of figure more than he actually was. Oh, he's going to be up there with like the Ali's and the Frazier's and the Lennox Lewises and the Sugar Rays. It's like he's not really that. He was a personality, and he was kind of like Hulk Hogan, like in the 80s. It's like you had Hulkamania that was running wild in the 1980s, and at the same time you had like the rise of Mike Tyson, and that's really what it came down to.
Yep, everyone wanted to believe that anime main protagonist storyline. He comes back from retirement, beats Jake Paul, and then he lives happily ever after. Guys, that's why in real life things are not in anime. It's just not how that works. You know, I even bought into it too. I wanted to see that happen myself, but you saw it in, let's see, like Drunken Emerald said, first few rounds it was kind of just cooked. Actually, I will give him credit though. When he actually did hit him, it looked like it really hurt. But compared to Factor in, he can't land those consistent.
I mean, he stung Jake a couple of times, especially in those early rounds. But like I said, I mean, he hit him like the best that he had very, very early, and then gassed out the rest of the fight. And it's like when you're in that type of fight, like you rarely get a guy who goes balls to the walls in like the first couple of rounds that still has the energy for like a big knockout punch like late in the fight. Like those are very, very rare, right? Like, and even in MMA, the only example I can use is like Leon Edwards a couple of years ago, after getting dominated for like 5 rounds against Kamaru Usman, came out with a head kick out of nowhere and knocked him out. Like it was just like one of those things where it's like you couldn't have scripted it any better. But yeah, in boxing, typically that's just not how it works out. If you don't get a guy very early on in the fight, he's gonna wear you down, and that's basically what happened. And Jake Paul knew it. He knew that all he has to do is withstand the flurry for the first 2 rounds. He's gonna tire out, and then he can start picking them apart, and that's exactly what he did.
Yep, and you could see that. I would say that the expression on Paul's face, though, you could tell he was nervous in the beginning. But he did exactly what he needed to do, which was just get to at least past the second round. And at that point, then Tyson's out of energy, and he could just sit there and continue then just to get some jabs in there, kind of avoid and just get it to the decision.
The one that really hurt him was he had that 3 hit on him, I think round 4 or some shit, Jake Paul did, and that looked like it really just, okay. He's like, okay, I'm old. I can't do this. Actually, that camera guy did Mike Tyson dirty. He turned his back before going out to the stadium, and it showed his ass.
Oh, yeah.
And
you can't unsee that.
Yeah, I was like, just why? Like, why?
Why? I don't get it. That cameraman must have had it out for him or something. Like, why did he do that? Is that to show Netflix's servers or just ass? Like, I don't know. Was that a?
That's the thing, though. You're on Netflix, so I mean, technically, they're not bound by like the FCC or anything like that. So it's like, they can. They didn't have to pull away. They only did so out of courtesy.
God, man, I hate it.
Oh, shit. Ironically enough, that was the only part of the entire stream that actually held up, was them showing Mike Tyson's ass. Like anything else in the fight, it was like 25%.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the cameraman put in more effort to showing you Mike Tyson's butthole than the actual fight you came to see there for. Keep in mind, this dude. Oh, also another thing, you can tell the crowd just. I don't know if it was here from my end. The crowd just wasn't into it. It felt like they were at the
beginning. But it slowly diminished.
Yeah, because
I know
reality
you felt
set
it,
in for
yeah.
all the people who bought into the hype, and then once we got to like round 3, everyone knew exactly how this fight was gonna go, and then it was just like, oh, this is it.
Like,
okay.
like I'll say, Jake Paul came out there with a giant car and shit. Like, it looked like they were trying to put on a good spectacle, but once it hit the first few rounds, you were like, ah, shit, I believed in the anime story too much.
I did realize that they missed one of the things to use to describe Jake Paul. They forgot douche.
Right.
Listing everything about him, they forgot to list major douche.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. But this is like the brilliance of kind of Jake Paul's game. It's like he's literally spent like the last several, like years now, getting everyone into buying into, I hope that this ex-MMA guy beats him. I hope that this super retired boxer like beats him. Now it's like he's not even having like actual fights with actual opponents. He's fighting guys who it's not their sport. So it's like, okay, let me fight Tyron Woodley. Let me fight Ben Askren, a guy who's never been known for throwing punches. Even when he was in the UFC, even when he was in MMA, he was a terrible striker. Let me fight Nate Diaz at 40 years old, who's never actually been in a professional boxing match before. Like, let me go find Mike Tyson, who's almost at the age of, well, let's put it this way. He's almost at that senior discount when it comes to anything regarding Mike Tyson. It's like, oh yeah, I'll fight him and I'll make everyone think that somehow it's 1993 again, and that's the Mike Tyson we're all going to face. Like, no, you're not.
Good Lord, man. I think we've all come to the realization for one thing: the Jake Paul fans are going to be absolutely inseparable. They're like, he beat one of the greatest boxers of all time. Bow to the newest king. Oh God. These people are gonna good Lord. That's the most insufferable part. Same thing with like LeBron James. All people that like him, whenever he does anything, he's like, oh my, see, we told you it was better than Michael Jordan and Kobe. You see, he put up he had another great thing he just did a few days ago with the Lakers, the 4th triple-double or whatever he did. Good Lord. I mean, he's not playing that bad this season. He's actually playing pretty good. But holy crap,
LeBron
man.
James, like, this is the story of LeBron every day. His team is garbage. He's not playing great. I think he's like on the season right now. His average plus minus is like -8. Like, he's not doing well. But here's the thing. They lose, they don't do well, but then everyone marks out of like, oh, look at LeBron's stat line though. He had 20 points. He's 40 years old. He had 20 points. He's still the greatest. Well, meanwhile, it's like Anthony Davis is arguably like a top 5 player in like the entire league right now. And up until they started shitting the bed, like he was an early pick for MVP, but no one's giving him any credit whatsoever. It's all about LeBron. So it's like when they win, it's like, oh my God, look at how great LeBron's doing at 40 years old. When they lose, oh, come on, guys, he's 40 years old. Like, what did you expect to happen here? It's like, these people are such sheep. I'm just so sick and tired.
Yeah, I got breaking news. I got breaking news shown my screen.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So Jake Paul is now calling out Joe Biden and challenging him.
Hey, he may want to watch out there. I mean, Biden's a killer. I mean, there's some people who've gone missing. So.
Why does Jake Paul? Okay, so now, because this is the thing that's happening with the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight is, first of all, the first thing I'll say is, why is Jake Paul only fighting senior citizens? Please stop doing that. Guess he just wants to fight old dudes.
Like, look, here's the thing: he's a decent amateur boxer, but it's like, if he goes out there and fights real boxers, he's gonna get exposed. So it's like he can sit there and try to do the real boxing thing and fight real guys, and everyone knows what a fraud he is, or he can basically pick his opponent, pick someone who he knows that he can beat, hype it all up and make a bunch of money either way. It's like he doesn't have to do real boxing at this point. It's like he's making millions of dollars doing the phony showman stuff. So this is what you're going to get.
Yep. And that's the problem too, is that if Mike Tyson won last night, everyone would have said, I told you so. But if Jake Paul won, which he did, then people just say, well, he just beat up an old guy. There was no winning in either context anyway, as far as like narratives.
Both of them was screwed either way. They both walked away with big paydays.
Oh yeah.
They both ran out of there with bags full of money. So like I said, legalized bank robbing, baby.
I'm just saying, if you paid me to run it down that hard as he did, Mike Tyson, I'll do it for you. I'll give the audience a show. I will.
Hey, if you pay me $20 million, I'll get in the cage with Brock Lesnar. I don't give a shit. It's $20 million. Yeah.
Put me in there with Yeah.
But all I'm gonna do is gonna get ragdoll for about 30, 40 seconds and lose. I'm still gonna get paid regardless. So yeah, I'll jump in there with him too.
Oh God. Literally put me in there with P. Diddy. Give me 8 rounds. Let's go.
Give me Tyson Fury. Give me, Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou. It's like, as long as I get a guaranteed $20 million, I'll go ahead and take that 20-second knockout in the first round.
Oh God. But yeah, that's just my opinions on the fight. I was very disappointed, guys. I mean, I told people in the group chat I was very disappointed. It was a terrible fight. It was super lackluster. Definitely not worth the hype going in. I mean, definitely not with the hype that it was building towards. Absolutely just a shit show. I mean, Jake Paul wasn't really fighting him. I mean, he was bragging.
I feel like, in all honesty, I feel like a lot of boomers got duped with this fight because, like I said, there was a whole bunch of nostalgia. It's like, oh my God, Tyson's back! It's Tyson. Everybody, and it's like they like I said, everyone had this fever dream of like 1988, and it's like, oh my God, it's just like he was before. And I'm just sitting here and like, God, did you guys know this man's 60 years old and he's fighting someone half his age? Like, well, do you guys actually think he's gonna win?
And I will say this: there was a weird narrative going around saying just because you're old you can't fight. No. I've seen old people do incredible things at their age, 60, 70 plus years old. Guys, we factor in at old. When you get older, like he is, his knees were very bad. He was having the medical issues and shit. Now, keep in mind, if he fought, let's say, a healthier 6-year-old Mike Tyson, maybe things go different. But to say that like, all old people can't fight that's ridiculous. Like,
it's not that old people can't fight, because I mean, there's older guys that would absolutely just wipe the floor with you. It's like Boss Rutten will still absolutely kick the shit out of you. He's 60 years old, right? But at the same time, he's not going to go up against someone who's fresh and a professional fighter in their 20s and their 30s and expect to win. That's just not how it works. Now, you regular Joe who works at Quick Trip, who fills up gas and buys Twinkies every day, he'll kick the shit out of you, but he's not fighting a professional. Like, there's a difference there.
What you got? What you got against baristas? What happened?
I said gas station attendants. That's
fucking hell. Holy shit! Like, that's the thing people don't understand. Where did that come from? Saying that old people couldn't fight? No, this guy's clearly has some major medical issues right there, hindering his performance. Like, good God, holy shit! I mean. And keep in mind, guys, the only edge he really had, because he was younger, he could move faster. That was really his only edge. Given the fact that he's younger, he could last longer. Now, I lasted longer with my wife.
There's a big difference between beating a professional and beating you. Mike Tyson cannot beat any professional fighter who exists today. He can beat the shit out of you, though. Like, you were to get to
you were saying, I could have beat Mike Tyson. No, you would have folded like a lawn chair. You would have gotten absolutely rolled. Guys, literally, in front of 100.
Best case scenario, he punches you in the liver and you go down immediately. That's the best case scenario.
I'm just saying right now, people are like, I could have beat him. No, you couldn't have, guys. He himself almost was choking in that fight. You random motherfucker would have done nothing but probably choke even harder than that. He was actually succumbing to the pressure.
Who has like DBZ posters on their wall?
They're like, I'll just go and show him my true power. It's like, okay, guys, it's not an anime. Like, what the fuck?
They're gonna find you on the ground with a phone in your hand. You're just gonna say 9-1.
No, you know what? I all I would need is just one hit from Tyson. I'd go Super Saiyan on his ass, and I would take him out.
Yeah, right.
God. Or you can pull that shit that Beerus did in the Dragon Ball movie Battle of Gods. He could go, I'm only using 10% of my power. It's like, okay, guys, come on, stop with the memes.
You're like one of those bits, like when your mind is like you're just absolutely like giving Tyson the work, and then the next thing you know, someone's waking you up from the ground. He's like, what happened? It's like he went down immediately.
Did I win?
Like, where'd he go?
Oh my God, man!
Hold me back, man! Hold me back! You're on the ground, man.
You can't even speak in coherent sentences. Just sound like this.
No. It's that bitch. It's Family Guy. Remember the story? He's like, I want to turn on the swing set, and Peter's like, no, and he throws himself off and he hits himself on the ground. He's like, tell Bob. That's what you would be. You're that Family Guy skit. You'd be like, call Bob. If he hits you as hard as he could, even how old he is with the medical problems he has, you would cry literally to your mom. You would be on the floor. Guys, that's it. Jake Paul, I don't like the guy, but he did put up an impressive fight. But you random Joe Blow Schmo motherfucker going in that ring and fighting and saying you could do better, you are retarded. You are capping out of your ass. This is not an anime. You're not going to go Super Saiyan if he hits you. Or
I don't know. I've got pretty good cardio. I could just sit there and run the outside of the ring and have him just
what are you, the
chasing me.
Flash?
And
What are you gonna do? Outrun him? What the fuck?
Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
Oh my god!
I'm
Okay,
gonna reverse
Sonic.
time and rethink
I'm
my
gonna reverse
decisions.
time. What the fuck? It's literally not a fucking superhero movie.
Can you imagine, like, some guys like, yeah, I'm gonna run backwards and reverse time to redo this moment, and all you see him just like running at like normal speed in the other direction. He's like, what the hell is he doing?
What the fuck? He would try to actually do that and make himself dizzy, knock his own self out. You'd be like, what the fuck?
He just runs halfway down a block. He gets tired.
Anime has corrupted people's minds. Bro,
Yeah,
would literally think that
some
guys.
of you guys need to tone down the anime.
Yeah, dude. I swear, people in threads, if you look far enough, there are people that legitimately think, hey, I can be Vegeta. I'll come out there after the Frieza arc, come out saying, you know, the whole iconic bit of like, do you android experience fear? Turn Super Saiyan? No, you're Krillin and you're running away, hoping Goku saves you. That's
not even that. You're Yamcha. Like you're gonna be the guy lying down in a crater.
Oh shit! I couldn't believe it. I hate you guys. You guys on Twitter just actually kill me. Holy shit! Fuck. But yeah, the biggest fight of the century is done. Absolute shit show. Terrible, worthless waste of time. I'm not looking forward to any more fights after this, unless it's at least the girls fighting. Because at least try to give you a show, and not the porn way. Because you know.
The thing is, I'm more of an MMA watcher than I am boxing. I mean, I understand the boxing has its merits to it, but I just never really got into boxing.
Yeah, I mean, boxing has its moments. But like for me personally, it's like obviously I started with pro wrestling and then I got into MMA, and boxing has just kind of been something that was like sprinkled like in between. It's like I remember watching like, you know, I remember the Holyfield fight, obviously. I remember the Lennox Lewis fight. I think that was like 2002 when that whole fight went down. And then obviously that was like the Mayweather time period where Mayweather became like the number one guy in Pacquiao. So it's like I always dabbled like in the boxing, but it was like never my number one like draw.
Yep.
All right. Let's go over some discussing film tweets. You guys watch The Boys, right? I don't, but I know I can comment on
I
this
don't
anyway.
I don't watch anything associated with Seth Rogen for good reason.
I'm pretty sure we can still comment on it because it goes with a similar line of logic as most of these Hollywood people think. Okay, so Eric Kripke
douchebag
says, I live in absolute terror of The Boys becoming the thing we've been satirizing for 5 years.
Satirizing,
The thing about The Boys is it's punk rock and it hurts extra hard when punk rockers sell out. I'm really working hard not to sell out.
So here's the thing with this guy, right? Because we covered this on a story about a few months back. So this guy who wrote this show, like I said, he's one of Seth Rogen's boys. There's two parts to this. I'll get to that in a second. But the first part of this is that obviously the character of Homelander, who has been like the super popular character like on the show, he's like one of the reasons why anyone watches this show. Eric has made it very, very clear that he modeled that character based off of Trump. So when he sees Homelander, he sees Donald Trump. So when people online were like making memes of Homelander and like turning him into like this kind of hero and like saying that they liked him and whatnot, he gets very, very upset because in his mind, no, this is Donald Trump. You shouldn't like him because Trump is bad. So he actually got angry at his own fan base because they were liking Homelander. So in the last season, he tried his best to try to tear down Homelander because he doesn't like the fact that his own fan base likes the character that he created, right? So this is all the whole thing that just blew up completely like in his face. So yeah, in his mind, because Homelander is Trump, is like, oh no, the show that I wrote about Donald Trump is now coming true because Trump is being reelected now. And I can't believe that I'm living in this world. Like he's having a whiny sissy baby meltdown. That's what he's happening here. The other part was like apparently there was a character who in the last season got like raped by one of the like another character or sexually assaulted or something like that. And everyone who saw the scene was like, yeah, man, that's terrible. That's tragic. I can't believe that happened to him. In his mind, he thought that it was hilarious. He thinks that sexual assault is hilarious as long as it happens to certain characters, right? And that just goes to show you the disconnect of like this guy versus everyone else who watches his show.
Oh, also remember they had an episode that they had to say for audiences, viewer discretion is advised. This may contain the insurrection episode they had in their last season. I remember that. I was like, wait, hold on. If oh my goodness, oh my lord,
it was the insurrection, and it was the fact that they were trying to kill Homelander, which obviously in the show, if Homelander is supposed to be Trump, that was around the time that Trump got shot. And then it was like, oh yeah, this is a little too parallel here. So it's like, hey, just so you guys don't get too upset, we're not trying to make the show saying we should kill Trump.
Like that's the thing is,
even though that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that if this stuff is supposed to be a getaway from our real life, why are we having episodes and TV shows that are based around the insurrection? Like
that's the reason why there's such a revolt against Hollywood right now, is because Hollywood is supposed to be escapism. Same with sports and all of the and games and all of the politics that are being injected into it. This is the reason why it's backfiring and people are not watching this stuff. They're not buying the games. They're not. I mean, sports is kind of making a little bit more of a comeback. I think NFL's doing a little bit better. If I'm correct, but still, it's escapism. We're losing escapism.
Like this part right here. Here he says, "I live in absolute terror." No, you don't. If you're in absolute terror, why are you tweeting? What the fuck?
I live in absolute terror because I get paid multi-millions of dollars to write one of the most popular shows on the TV right now, and it's about Trump, and Trump is back, and I just can't handle it. Oh, woe is me.
And it's going to get out that my character is based on Trump, and Trump has an enemies list, and he's going to start going after the enemies.
Guys, I had a dream last night, and I saw Trump. And Trump said, "Make America great again," and I just shouted out in fear.
I think Trump is living underneath my bed.
I was in such terror. I woke up my wife's boyfriend.
Oh God! All right, Elizabeth Olsen says that Marvel films.
Pause. Elizabeth Olsen, she needs to get more heat than she's gotten over here. Remember when she put that really cringe video out like a week before the election saying to vote Kamala, but then that blew up in her face, and then she just kind of like lay low and tried to pretend like she didn't put that video out in the first place, but we totally did. You dumb skank.
God, I will say this: every time she was in an interview, she did it in her bathroom with AirPods. This bitch couldn't afford a microphone and a headset.
Oh no! It's like, look, you're only a star because you're the most attractive Olsen sister by default. I was like, let's not try to make this a bigger thing than it actually.
Hey, when celebrities do these things from bathrooms and AirPods and stuff, they're just trying to show you how much they are just like us.
Holy
guys,
shit!
We're just like you, except for we worship Baal.
Just this one statement right here proves that she just is so out of touch with people. Marvel films help keep theaters to be able to pay the rent. Okay, so guys, how did theaters exist before Marvel films did? Or the years the MCU did not exist?
A Hollywood that actually made movies that people would go to the box office to actually watch.
Good Lord. Which allows for small films to make their way to the big screen. Okay, so lady, good Lord. This is something that I kind of will somewhat agree with. There are movies that aren't Marvel movies that come out. Actually, there's more non-Marvel movies that come out than not. People just don't go see them. People say, "Hey, I want this original movie and shit." They don't go see anything, guys, because people are so turned off from going to the movie theaters. No one goes and supports movies that have quote unquote original ideas. People barely support the big blockbusters anymore. Actually, let's keep in mind, Dwayne Johnson's newest blockbuster made $2 million in Thursday night previews. $2 million.
I found out an interesting fact about that movie. I found an interesting fact out about that movie. That movie was supposed to be a direct to streaming. It wasn't ever supposed to go to the theaters.
Yep.
I got another interesting tidbit about that film. That whole concept of the movie was crafted by Dwayne Johnson's ex-brother-in-law. He's the one who came up with the idea for the film.
And guess who
The Rock inadvertently cost that film $100 million. Because they paid him $50 million for his involvement, and then due to his being constantly late and having to reshoot things and shoot around him, it cost production an additional $50 million.
Yeah. Give me one sec. Yes. Red One underperforms and only earns $3.7 million from Thursday previews at the domestic box office. So internationally, we'll get the final total on Monday. The film is now tracking to open with less than 30 on a $250 million plus budget. Now, keep in mind, not including marketing. So if people don't remember the controversy, I explained it in my Red One video that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow. Okay, so The Rock basically said he regretted going hard into politics the way he did back in 2020. He had that quote where he said it's going to be
because it ruined his entire reputation.
It did. He said the quote. I think I remember it correctly. He said he's gonna keep that between him and the ballots box. Yeah, that's what he said. Now, keep in mind, after he said that, after he basically kind of criticized the Democratic Party, who, as you guys know, are all inside of Hollywood's business, then you had that hit piece from the rap, remember? Where he said, the hit piece said these two clear things. It said he was not late, not just late, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes late. He was chronically late.
Several hours, and sometimes no show shooting altogether. 6
to 8 hours sometimes. The other one was the whole thing of like peeing in bottles. Okay, so the peeing in bottles thing, he did say that happened. Now, hey, keep in mind, guys, I think Hollywood is full of snakes. I do. But hey, he straight up admitted he did that peeing in the bottle thing. Is it too far out of the realm possibility he was chronically late? I mean, he admitted to one of the things.
Yeah. That's them trying. It's him trying to kind of like soften the blow by admitting to the less scandalous things of this whole situation than, you know, him being like, "Hey, we're shooting at like 10." It's like, okay, I'll be there at 7. Like, that's not.
Come on, guys. When Justin Lin left Fast X because he just couldn't stand Vin Diesel anymore, that cost that movie about a good $100 million before they went and found Louis Leterrier to do it, because he's been, you know, not having any movies since like 2008 or some shit. That's just Wrath of the Titans. So when a big star is not there, it costs the production because you have to run the show. You can't just not run without them. So this movie, after Dwayne Johnson criticized the Democratic Party and saying he wasn't going to talk about politics anymore, because keep in mind, he was one of the few celebrities that didn't say he was going to endorse Kamala Harris. He didn't say that. He's going to keep it between him and himself. That's when Hollywood kind of turned on him. It's crazy. Even someone like him is not immune to them. They'll turn on you if you're as big as him. Be like, how dare you criticize us in any way? We're a cult. Write a hit piece about him. We know your dirty secrets. We know you're late on lot. We know you're
gay. I mean, wait, what?
Whoa. We know you're at Diddy. Whoa. Allegedly,
there's an open secret about involving The Rock. Allegedly.
Well, that and The Rock has really endeared himself to the American people in general with his charity that he did with Oprah there in Maui.
Come on, he's considered the people's champion.
Blew up in his face spectacularly, by the way.
Yeah.
Also for this guy, because I explained it in my video too, but I'll go over this other point before going into this one. This is the guy that's always priding himself on. He loves his fans. He's on time. He loves doing movies.
He's such a nice guy.
So, I mean, it must be a pretty hard blow to your career and your reputation that you're 8 hours late. No wonder why Vin Diesel got mad at this guy. He was never there. Buffer was never there on set. How can you blame Vin for that? Hey, Dwayne Johnson, you come 10 a.m. Got you, man. Bro, you came at like 8 p.m.
No, sorry, I got to work out for 4 hours before I can get on set. So,
and keep in mind, there was drama for obviously the Fast and Furious drama as he left Fast and Furious to do DC movies. Black Adam failed, and then surprisingly, he comes back to the Fast and Furious franchise.
Well, a couple of things here, right? Because even at his peak, like let's say about 10 years ago, putting The Rock as the lead of a franchise that wasn't already established, like a Fast and Furious or Jumanji, you were only really going to get maybe about $400 million worldwide out of a movie starring The Rock. He wasn't, huh?
Isn't he in Moana?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he is.
That had 687, but no, I get your point. I get your point. Yeah, because I remember Rampage that came out. I saw that didn't do too well.
Moana is like the animated Disney movie. I mean, it's pretty hard.
There was Baywatch I watched.
Lightyear.
Baywatch, I watched it. That was trash.
Rampage.
I didn't mind that. That was
Skyscraper.
Okay. I didn't see Skyscraper, but I heard it made some decent money. Did you watch Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, that was ass.
That was pretty bad. Yeah,
that was bad.
Guys, quick factor in. Outside of Hobbs and Shaw and Jumanji 2, he's not had a movie that has hit over $500 million at the box office. He was actually box office gold for a long time, and then it just went away. I don't know how he gets that back.
When was he honestly box office gold? I don't think he truly was.
Oh, but
Like I said, I
that-
think him being in the Fast and Furious movies certainly elevated those movies, because now it's like it wasn't just Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. It's like, oh, you throw The Rock in there. It's like, okay, there's more intrigue to the series now. But outside of that, it's like, yeah, like the films that you just mentioned, they were only moderate box office successes, and that's because they didn't spend a whole lot of money on those movies to begin with. And then, he like I said, he was like the Jumanji movie, and now was, I guess, somewhat big because they're doing another one of those for some inexplicable reason. And then that's when he was like, oh, by the way, I hate Trump and Joe Biden. I cried when he won. And there was like, okay, well, we're done with this guy. And then it's like, wait, no, why is no one going to watch Black Adam now? It's like, oh yeah, I wonder why.
Hi, John. Hi, Gray. Yeah, that's the thing with him now at this point, where I don't know if he can, because people during the box office landscape 5-6 years ago was way different than it is now. Oh, I forgot there was San Andreas. He had. I didn't watch San Andreas, but
that was the other one. I mean, San Andreas is all right, but like again, it's the same thing where it's like it's only okay.
And it's just your standard disaster movie.
That and the fact that it was like, come on, guys, are you supposed to make us believe that Alexandra Daddario is The Rock's daughter in the movie? Like, really? Is that what you guys go ahead? Especially since like she played his daughter in that film, and like literally 2 years later they're in Baywatch together. It's like, how do you guys even reconcile this? Like, who thought this was a good idea?
You got too many ads on Twitter now.
My level of disbelief just can't get there.
Yeah. So then another thing too, like that Red One movie, we reviewed it last night on the show.
I'm gonna go see it Thursday or Wednesday, actually.
It is weird because like they market it as if it's some kind of like family Christmas movie. Come bring everyone out, go bring the kids, go bring that, and you'll all enjoy this movie. And it's like, that's not a kid's movie, like at all. Like it really isn't. Like it has very little to do with Christmas in any way, shape, or form.
That was what the critics kept saying, is that it was a Christmas movie without the Christmas feel to it.
Yeah, like if anything, it's way more pagan than it actually is Christmas. Like there's a lot of like pagan lore and paganism in the movie, and there's nothing really revolving Christmas at all in there. So if you're going into that movie thinking like, oh, I could take the 7 and 8 year olds, like there's like monsters and demons and all kinds of stuff that are all in the movies. Like I really wouldn't recommend that one for young kids at all. Not to mention that the language is like all over the place too. It's like the third time that Chris Evans says like holy shit in the film. I start thinking to myself, it's like, who did they make this movie for? Because like this is like who is actually the target audience for this movie? Because it can't be families, because nothing about this says family whatsoever.
This is also a weird movie, remember, because it's a Christmas movie coming out 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Like, why not just wait till the start?
No, this is the normal time that Christmas movies would start dropping.
Because people consider it now just holiday season at this point.
Yeah.
They kind of just intertwine them both. But my thing here is like, even if you wait until December, because December, Sonic 3 is going to win it in December. I mean, that's by far and away going to crush everything. People said, you're Mufasa. Guys, Mufasa ain't doing shit. Kraven the Hunter, like, come on, what are we doing here? Sonic 3 wins December. So unless you have to put it out right now, you have to.
You be nice to Kraven. It's going to rank up there as Hollywood gold, just like Morbius, motherfucker.
It's going to be a cinematic masterpiece on all levels we cannot even comprehend.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, keep in mind, for everyone to know, they have to release this movie right now because they know if they put this out with Sonic 3, it'll get crushed into the dirt.
Oh, it's going to get smashed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
everything next month.
Yeah, but so by the way, regarding like this film, like if you're going into this movie thinking like, oh, it's gonna be just like Tim Allen's The Santa Claus, this is gonna be one of those type of films. Like this is not Jingle All the Way. Don't go into that thinking that you're gonna get that type of movie, because you're absolutely not. And like I said, not surprising that this film is bombing horribly.
Yep. Let me check its box office right now before I release my video. Red One. Box Office Mojo.
Well, I know domestically it's probably going to be less than 30, but
domestically it's less than 30. Has to be. You were right.
Hey, you want to know, at this point, just do a Christmas movie that's essentially a stoner Santa. Dude, where's my sled?
Guys,
they already did that. Seth Rogen did that movie with Anthony Mackie like 10 years ago.
Really?
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it said domestically. Okay, so domestically it's tracking to make less than 30 million. So internationally, this movie has to hit internationally just from when it totals on Monday. This movie's got to be hitting like 80, 90 some plus $1 million. International have to carry the entire movie. Domestically, no one cares. And with this level of word of mouth on it, no one's going to go see it. Guys, word of mouth is going to be so bad. This is week 1. So imagine what's going to be in week 2. The drop off is going to be insane. Guys, this movie just lost to
Well,
Venom
remember
3.
next week also you have Gladiator 2 and Wicked coming out. So this film is going to be
You just have
completely
Gladiator
forgotten
2.
after this one.
I don't think
Let me
Wicked is going to do as well as people think it's going to do.
No, because I'll have to push back on that because you have to remember the target audience to that Wicked movie is young, impressionable girls, and all the wine moms and the aunts. They're all going to take their little girls to go see because it looks like a Disney movie. So it's like that's going to be the draw. So women will be the primary audience for that. However, I will say this, and I think it's hilarious. Have you seen the social media discourse with the Wicked film like going on right now?
I have.
Every time somebody brings up like Ariana Grande and that other ghoulish looking black woman who's also starring in the movie, the same comments over and over again. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? She dying? She has cancer? And it's like, what's going on? It's like, because Ariana Grande, have you seen recent pictures of her? She looks rough. Like she looks like she's probably like 70
in
pounds.
5 years.
She went vegan.
Ooh.
That's what they. Yeah. Here's the thing: there's got to be something else going on here because everyone's claiming that they've going vegan and they look like that they look like Shang Tsung that tried to suck out their soul and he stopped halfway. Like that. Okay, that's what everyone's looking like.
I kind of cut off there in the sense that yes, so she went vegetarian, but also started worshiping Satan. So the devil's in her, and therefore.
Yeah,
she's gotten fully in bed with the Hollywood machine, and so she's now part of the Satanistic club that is Hollywood.
Like she looks like an acceleratingly, rapidly like decaying corpse at this point. And everyone, one half of people who were like, oh, she's fine, stop picking on her. Then there was this other rant from a guy who was like, oh, did you guys not learn anything from Chadwick Boseman? You guys were all making fun of his weight, then he died. So it's like, so is Ariana Grande dying too? Like, what was even the point of that argument?
Well, who looks worse, Robert Downey Jr. or Ariana?
No, RDJ looks fine. He could easily just put himself in a shape. She can't.
I will say that Ariana looks worse because at the end of the day, you can say, well, Robert Downey Jr. is 60 years old. So, I mean, he is getting up there in age too. So that's part of it. But Ariana Grande is like, what, 30? And she looks like she's like near death. Like,
oh, God, man. Like, so right now for Red 1, $38 million worldwide. Because this is Saturday. We haven't even did Sunday yet. So, yeah, it has the widest release. I hope it does good. I hope, but it looks like it's all but cooked. Domestically, it's done. It's finished. Like, it bombed within 3 days domestically.
Oh, don't worry. Word of mouth is going to have it rebound.
Oh, shit. I hate you so much. Jesus Christ. What else is coming out? Venom: The Last Dance still, Venom: The Last Dance is still winning.
That movie bombed too, didn't it?
Last time I checked, it made $410 million. So it still made less than number 2 right now. Let's look right now. Yeah. I remember. I checked. It made international audiences carried this movie too. $400 million worldwide. It's not bad. That's not terrible if you look at
the budget's only 120, so it'll make a slight
not
profit,
including marketing.
It'll make a slight profit, but it won't make like a lot for Sony.
This is gonna do less than the second one. It went from 850 to 500 to 401. Guys, this is you can maybe go bomb if you really stretched it.
They're going to be able to afford. They're going to be able to afford a Big Mac in New England.
Oh my God! Fuck off.
With cheese.
With cheese, yeah.
No onions. $400 million for Venom 3. And keep in mind, look at what the competition is for Venom 3 and Red 1 right now. Heretic, which I think had $1 million.
Heretic.
Didn't this movie taking like $1 million for its Thursday night previews? It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a A24 film, so it's like one of those films that they spent like $5-10 million on, so it really doesn't need to do
$5 on it.
Yeah.
It's the one studio that's actually understanding a little bit of going, we'll make these movies, we're going to make them for cheap because most likely we're not really going to see any kind of major box office on them. But hey, you know what? There's a chance we might get an outlier and have a real one that takes off.
The best one they ever did that put out in the box office was Hereditary, I remember, and the one where it was a time traveling movie. The one they do in the multiverse shit with Michelle Yeoh was that one.
Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. That was the highest grossing movie. Yeah. All right, what else is here? Smile 2 is still playing in theaters. That's pretty good. I guess depending on the budget, that's fine for a horror movie.
Yeah, I don't think they spend too much on it, so it probably made it a lot of money.
Conclave. How's Conclave doing?
Oh, that's that Roman Catholic movie.
Oh, so you went and saw
everyone's talking about it's going to get Oscar nominations because at the end they elect a trans pope. So,
oh god, a trans.
I wonder what Trent's thoughts on that movie are.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. Oh my god, a trans pope.
Mm-hmm. Oh, our pope has ovaries.
Ovaries.
You can't say that about your pope.
Yeah, right.
Oh no! Did I send you that South Park clip where the kids are like laying on the street walk and they're like, "Why was he talking about the Pope putting something in my butt?" And then Chef walks past and he's like, "Chef, what does the Pope want to put in my butt? Goodbye." Holy shit! That South Park episode where they're talking about the priest molesting the. Oh my god!
Yeah,
South Park knew what they were doing. Just saying.
And it's funny because, like I said, Isaac Hayes ended up leaving due to their view on Scientology. Like that, that was the thing that broke him.
That was the broken, not the priest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Scientology screwed them.
They literally they were mocked like every other religion in the world up at that point, but Scientology is where he draws the line. It's like, really?
Oh, forgot.
I still love the way they let him out of the. So they come back for the new season. Chef is gone because Isaac has departed. And what do they do? They just take old clips of Chef's lines from previous episodes and make him a predator.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and then violently murder him.
Yeah.
The Red One movie was supposed to, like, apparently this is supposed to be the first movie in a long line of Christmas movies for years to come. Guys, keep in mind,
I guess
when studios say that, that's also predicating on the fact that these make money for them. You know, they make you profit. They're not keep doing this if it makes
like
no
I
money.
said, there's no Christmas in that movie at all. Like it's all about Krampus and like demonic witches, and it's like what does any of this have to do with Christmas? Even the North Pole, they basically turn into like ice Wakanda, and it's like what are we doing here?
Holy shit! God damn. Well, is there any other big news to talk about? I think that's pretty much it. We can wrap it up here in about like 5 minutes. Talk about Red One. I have my Red One movie. Sorry, not movie review. I have my Red One video dropping tomorrow. I just got to go in and edit it really quickly and put a thumbnail on it, and we're good to go. But good gosh, man. Oh my god, the narrative on X is Tyson's resilience shines in Netflix showdown with Paul. What are these headlines?
How did anyone actually see that?
No one saw anything. It was buffering every 5 minutes. What are these headlines on X? They're so weird. Good lord. So, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here in just a second. We'll start with Drunken Emerald Era. What you got planned coming up, man?
Well, I'll be back here on Monday. And then next Friday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, I have an Insert Title Here show. And we will find out what my new sponsor of the week will be. Usually I try to plan ahead, and usually it's the last second right before I'm about to close down the show that I all of a sudden remember that I got to have a sponsor. So,
real quick before we shut down shop, I know there was the one story we forgot to talk about was the Rachel Zegler stuff. Did we already talk about it on other shows, or what happened there?
I don't want to have a stroke.
Basically,
he's gonna have the stroke after the camera.
I actually was gonna do that for a video of oh my god. So basically, guys, long story short, as with most women, she got in her feelings, said what she actually meant, how she felt, and then Disney said, "Can you please stop being a retarded fucking taco? Please shut the fuck up. Apologize." She didn't apologize. She had her agent write that. I don't think she's smart enough to write in general. But that's what happened.
Well, not only that, but it was like she made her stupid comment about Trump supporters. Then literally the very next day, it was reported that Disney has $170 million invested in Snow White so far. That's production budget alone.
So there was like,
not including the reshoots.
Yeah.
So it's like she's already pissing off the majority of the country who just elected Trump. And then in like 2 months, we're going to be like, hey, come see my movie. I'm a great actress who's been in things, right? It's like, you dumb puta. Like somebody, honestly, when that film comes out, if it bombs as hard as everyone is expecting it to bomb, I think her career is done. I think at that point she's proven herself to be a liability to any
I think
major
she's already a
studio.
liability. Even if it ends up at least doing moderately well, and I don't think it's even going to break even, but even if it does moderately well, she's already cooked her career. What producers and what directors even want to work with her if she's going to sit there and torch the movie and say comments that are going to turn people off from even showing up to the theater because she's in it?
Yeah, like there's many controversies that this bitch has been in. Like, where would we even start? Let's start with the recent one with Snow White then. Like, where she basically said, Snow White movie scared me. The ride scared me at Disneyland. I never liked it. Okay, if you didn't like the movie, that's whatever. I didn't harp too much about that. It's all subjective anyway. But then she went on that fucking thing with on this variety thing with like Haley Bailey, that dirty stinking ape, where she was like, no, I really like the original animated movie. Didn't you say you didn't like it? Okay, so your opinion means fucking nothing if you flip flop that fast, right? Then she's talking about the whole like weird, if the whole like Prince guy. Oh my God, dude. Why do we give women opinions? If that woman's supposed to be voting, please take women rights away to vote. Please. Holy shit. God damn. But don't worry, guys. I'll be thoroughly torching Rachel Zegler, my newest video coming about her. I didn't forget actually. But she was clearly saying how she really felt, and then I'd imagine the backlash she got was insane. Maybe even more than the Snow White stuff. People
Hey, you want to know what she can keep saying all she wants and just Disney go and force her to correct? Because it's more stuff Gina can bring into her lawsuit going, look at what she has said compared to what I said and I got fired for.
Because remember, the only thing about it was well, Pedro Pascal, he was told by Disney and he stopped. Guys, Rachel Zegler hasn't stopped anything. I know that's people's only example is like, well, Disney told me he stopped. He didn't stop. Let's be honest here. That's still technically a lie. But she didn't. She hasn't stopped doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, society. What do you got planned coming up?
Tomorrow we're gonna talk about Trump on the Bible Lens.
Damn.
Ask if he's gonna, bring forth the end of the world and all that good stuff, conspiracy theories, that all the stuff that YouTube loves. We're talking about that tomorrow on my show. Tuesday we have the next episode of The Bar Room. Go out check out last week's episode, and then this Friday we're supposed to be reviewing Wicked and Gladiator 2. But I got to be completely honest with you. It's like I am struggling to find any motivation to walk into a theater for almost 3 hours to sit through part 1 of Wicked. So yeah, I'm about to make an executive decision here in a couple days regarding that movie. But Gladiator 2 I'll definitely be checking out. So
just watch one of them. Wicked's not even, dude, Wicked's gonna bomb so hard that's just gonna be in streaming in 3 weeks.
Will it even get a part 2?
Yeah, I'd say it's gonna really have to eat the dust pretty hard too. But I think that, like I said, the women are gonna go out there and support it because, like I said, our country is basically run by a bunch of 40-year-old Disney princesses. So this is gonna play out perfectly for them. No kids, still infantilized. It's like, yeah, I think that's probably gonna be a bigger hit than most people are.
And being that they're all doing 4B, they have nothing better to do.
But then again, look at it from this perspective. Imagine how much excited you would be if the two leads in the movie were actually remotely attractive. Like imagine if they had gotten the 2 ring girls from the Jake Paul fight to play the roles in this movie. I think a lot more people would be like, okay, I could sit through this for 3 hours.
Probably got men into the theater.
Yeah, I know. Right? There was a time men went to go watch movies. Isn't that a shocking development? By the way,
this movie was not made for white men or straight men.
Before we go, there's one tweet I have to show you guys from Delusional Takes. That's my favorite Twitter account. Holy crap. There's this guy called Ashton G said, I don't think a recount should occur. A revote should. Millions of ballots were lost, burned, and not counted. Restart it all. Get the numbers right and accurate. Make it so they can't mess with the system.
That right there is messing with the system more.
Hold on. That makes you, Ashton, you're an insurrectionist and you're a threat to democracy. Your opinion means nothing. Look at me. I'm the election denier now. Democrat. Oh, God. I agree. Make it so they can't mess with the American system. 1 day of voting, paper ballots, voter ID required.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like what everyone else said. Good Lord. Well,
and make election day a national holiday.
Isn't it kind of feels like it's a holiday when it goes around? Does it feel like
because everyone's still working, everything's still running. It needs to be a federal holiday that actually
is
enforced so that people can get to the go and vote if you make it one day, whereas it should be.
All right, everyone. So as for myself, as you guys know, I am working on putting out consistent content in a shorter time frame. So when news pops off, if I'm on my days off, I'll get it done as fast as I can, get the videos up to you guys. If I'm working that day, get them done and upload them in a shorter time frame. Cloud9 Podcast Season 12 is almost fully put up on Rumble, and I'm going to be working on uploading Season 13 to the podcast platforms and Rumble. Then after that, I'm going to work on putting out the Iron Man podcast episodes, and then after that, I'm going to work on putting all these episodes from this show up on the podcast platform as well. I got a lot of stuff planned that you guys have heard about, and I'm just literally working every day to get it done. The big thing after that, obviously, is getting the other 2 YouTube channels off the ground, Yu-Gi-Oh! And the other fourth one. And then after that, I want to start basically little by little uploading all of my pre-recorded content from this channel to Rumble. That way it's all saved. So that is pretty much it. As you guys know, for me, consistency, 2 videos, 3 videos a day if it takes, getting everything done, obviously. And yeah, I enjoy doing content. I definitely enjoy talking to you guys, and I love seeing liberal tears. It just makes me feel so good inside. Like, you guys don't know how much it helps me seeing all these people melt down because a man that they were told was Hitler is now president because the media went, you know what, that guy's Hitler, Nazi, bigot, racist. He won, and now their ratings have collapsed. It's absolutely insane. I love it.
Sorry, this cracked me up. This is an exclusive preview of WWE on Netflix coming in January. So,
The only thing it was missing was it all of a sudden freezing up with a buffer.
Yep.
Holy shit. Yeah. All right. Tomorrow we'll have a one-on-one with some gamer chick, and then we have me and Professor Savage Dad doing the MSK show, the comic book show, where we talk about the comic book industry. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK show. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Continue that and going into tomorrow, and we'll see you guys later. Have a